Hi, everyone. It's great to see you again. We are going to start with our story problem for today. Today, a lot of our teachers were working really hard at school. They actually went to school today to make sure that all of our iPads and our computers, our Chromebooks were ready, because we're going to start hopefully passing them out to our students so that you guys can have access to all of these great resources online. So our story problem is going to be about our teachers who went in to support us during our online learning time. So as I read this story problem, make sure that you're thinking about who are the characters. So we know that some of the characters are teachers, but who are those teachers? And what are the teachers doing? All right, so remember, making a movie in your head, you can close your eyes to really visualize the setting and the characters. Teachers at 24th Street were setting up to pass out tablets for students' online learning. Miss Rosales found tablets. Miss Chicas found tablets. And Miss A found tablets. How many tablets do they have all together? Okay. So take a minute, teachers and my friends at home, if you want to pause the video, take a minute to think about who are the characters in the story. Who are the three characters and what are they doing? All right, I see Miss T's ready. Miss Rosales. Miss Rosales, can you tell us who are the characters in the story?
Myself, Miss Rosales, Miss A, and Miss Chicas.
Okay, so the characters are Miss Rosales, Miss Chicas, and Miss A. And Miss T, what are Miss Chicas, Miss Rosales, and Miss A doing in the story?
They're finding tablets for kids to use.
Yes, so finding tablets for students online learning. Okay, now we're going to do our second read, and this time we're going to pick a number set. Remember, we always have 4 number sets, and I'm going to call on Miss Kim to choose the number set for us, okay? So here we are. We have 20, 13, 9, 26, 32, 24, 33, 22, 15, and 42, 25, and 35.
I feel like because we've been doing story problem for a while now, I think I'm ready for the challenge. So I want to pick the last set.
Ooh, all right. How did you know that was the challenge problem?
Oh, I just assume, is it?
Yeah, I think so. We'll see. So I'll plug those in. Remember, the first number goes into the first blank, 25. And then 35. All right, Miss T, can you read the story problem for us?
Teachers at 24th Street were setting up to pass out tablets for students' online learning. Miss Rosales found 42 tablets, Miss Chicas found 25 tablets, and Miss A found 35 tablets. How many tablets do they have altogether?
Beautiful. So during our second read, we want to think about what are these numbers and what do they represent? So they're not just numbers, but they mean something. So Ms. Rosales, can you help us? What does the 42 mean in this story?
The 42 represents the amount of tablets I found in the school.
Beautiful. And Miss T, what does the 25 represent?
It means how many Miss Chicas found.
Okay, so Ms. Rosales found 42 tablets, Ms. Chicas found 25 tablets, and Ms. Kim, what does the 35 represent?
The 35 represents the number of tablets that Miss A found.
Okay, so then Miss A found 35 tablets. So now what are we trying to figure out? So I'm going to read it one more time, and I want you, boys and girls, friends at home, think about what are we trying to figure out in this problem. Teachers at 24th Street were setting up to pass out tablets for students' online learning. Miss Rosales found 42 tablets, Miss Chicas found 25 tablets, and Miss A found 35 tablets. How many tablets do they have all together? So what are we trying to figure out? Miss Rosales.
So the question we're trying to solve here is how many tablets do they have all together?
All together. And that's a key word, right? All together. What does that mean? Miss Kim?
How many tablets I guess they have all together? So So Mr. Rosales found 42 tablets, and then we're adding up and finding how many more tablets that the other teachers found.
So you said all together and adding, so that I must kind of connect the adding. Whenever you see all together, do you think of adding?
Yes, because it's not saying that it's finding out more. Like each teacher found more tablets, and yeah.
So in this problem, we're going to be adding the three numbers that we see here. So boys and girls, now would be the best time to pause your video and solve this strategy or solve this number set using a strategy that's efficient. Remember, that means accurate and quick. So accurate means correct and quickly. So teachers, I'm going to give you a minute to solve the problem. When you are ready, put your thumb up so that I know that you're ready to go. And maybe some of our teachers already have been working on this.
Oh no. I am not prepared today. I am so sorry.
That's okay, you have time.
Yes, thank you.
I do want you guys to make sure that you have a number sentence and you wrote a sentence with your answer. So I put a sentence stem right here on the bottom for us. And I see Miss T's ready. So just make sure we have a number sentence or equation. And we included that that sentence on the bottom with our answer. Because when I was watching some of my friends who turned in their work, I noticed that some of those things were missing, and it's very important to have those items. All right, Miss Kim, do you want to be our first volunteer?
Yes. So I love the strategy, having each number represent tens and ones. So I made a tens and ones chart. And so my first number was 42. So when you look at the place value, there are 2 ones and then 4 10 blocks.
4 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 ones. That's your first number. And then your
second number is 25. I need to add 25 because we're finding all together. So let's not forget Miss Chicas found 25 tablets. So the ones represent the ones represent the five ones, and then the 2 represents the 2 tens.
Beautiful. And then your last number?
35, because Miss A found 35 tablets.
Beautiful. So 35, 1, 3, 4, and 5. And then what did you do next, Miss Kim?
And I've been working on my doubles, so I know that 5 and 5 automatically makes 10, so that's why I grouped the 5 and 5. And then I carried it over, I regrouped it, because if it's 10 ones belongs to the 10 group, so I put it right there. And so now I have 2 ones, and when I count the tens, I have 10 tens.
Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So why didn't you just put 1? Why did you put 10 right here?
Because actually, if there are more than, if it's more than 9, then actually the 1 actually belongs in the hundreds.
Wow.
Beautiful. So that we can actually make hundreds, right? So my second graders, you guys know how to do that, making tens into hundreds. So from there, that's something that in a number chart, place value, we actually can have more than 2 columns, right? We have the hundreds place, the tens place, and the ones place, and it can go on even further into more columns for other digits. So if we have 10 tens, that equals a 100. So thank you for that, Miss Kim. So we see her strategy. She used the tens and ones chart, and she drew her strategy. Great strategy. Can I have a volunteer for the next strategy? One more strategy. Miss T, love hearing from you. You're muted. Sorry. There you go.
So I said thank you, Ms. Yakinowicz, for the encouragement. So I wrote the equation horizontally. So I did 42 plus 25 plus 35. And then I remembered you told me that I need to make sure that I want to choose the most efficient strategy. So I was trying to think, okay, how should I group these numbers and what order that would make the most sense for me? And I saw that both 25 and 35 had 5s, and I was like, ooh, I can make that into a new 10. And so I found out that 25 plus 35 equals 60, and I did that by knowing that if I add 20 plus 30, that's 50, and I add another 10, that's 60.
Wow.
And then, so I rewrote the equation to 42 plus 60, and then I was like, okay, let me decompose the 42 to 40 and 2. And then I know my 40 plus 60 equals 100 because it's kind of like 4 plus 6 equals 10 with an extra 0. And then so I did 100 there, and then I added the last 2, and then I got 102. And then I followed your directions and wrote it in a sentence.
Beautiful. So yeah, we did forget to write our number sentence here on this part. So going back, we know her numbers. So that would be a feedback I give Miss Kim, is just writing out the equation so that we know it for next time.
Oh, I did write it. I just forgot to show it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Kim. Thank you. And then I love how we used friendly numbers. And that was a very great strategy that you taught us right here, knowing that 5 and 5 make 10, even though they're in another number, right? And so sometimes it's hard for us to forget because, like me, I get really nervous when I see big numbers and I kind of freeze. But we need to make sure that we're just taking our time, deep breaths, and figuring out what's the best strategy to use. So our answer, I'm going to write it here for us, is 102 because that's what both of our friends got. So as a group, let's read our sentence with the answer. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Miss Rosales, Miss Chica, and Miss A found 102 tablets for online learning. Beautiful job. So remember, boys and girls and friends at home, you have a lot of opportunities to keep working with this story problem because we have 3 other number sets that we haven't done together. And even with the number set we did do, there are other strategies you can use. So take this time to really challenge yourself to do something new, maybe a new strategy, a new number set. You have time and you have the opportunity to do this learning at home. And we miss you so much. Continue your great work.
Bye.